Hello, my name is Fanna Tamrat, and today I'll be presenting my case study on the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty of 1968, also known as the NPT. This treaty remains one of the most significant international efforts to control the spread of nuclear weapons and reduce global nuclear threats. I'll walk you through the historical background, its national security implications, agency involvement, and an SWOT analysis, and what we can learn from it today. To set the stage, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty was created in response to global fears during the Cold War that nuclear weapons could spread uncontrollably. The US, Soviet Union, and United Kingdom led negotiations under the UN. It opened for signature on July 1st, 1968, and entered into force on March 5th, 1970. The treaty had three main goals: to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons, promote peaceful uses of nuclear energy, and eventually lead to disarmament. Negotiations took place in Geneva, but its impact was and still is global. Countries that joined agreed not to pursue nuclear weapons if they didn't have them already, and those that did agreed to work toward disarmament. There are currently 191 countries who have joined. The core issue was the risk that more and more countries would acquire nuclear weapons, potentially triggering an arms race or nuclear war. So why does this matter for US national security? A world with more nuclear powers is more dangerous, unpredictable, and harder to deter. For the US, it was vital to limit proliferation to protect itself and its allies. Through this treaty, the National Security Council helped build a global system based on inspections and diplomatic pressure that shaped future US nuclear policy, creating a long-term framework that continues to guide our actions today. President Lyndon B. Johnson's administration recognized the threat and pushed the National Security Council and federal agencies to act quickly. The Departments of State and Defense were instrumental in negotiating and promoting the treaty. The National Security Council's role was to coordinate US policy to ensure both security and global leadership. One key partner was the International Atomic Energy Agency, or the IAEA, which was given responsibility to inspect nuclear programs and verify treaty compliance. The US also worked closely with the UK and Soviet Union, showing rare cooperation during the Cold War. Their collaboration made the NPT possible and credible. To think critically about the NPT's long-term impact, I used an SWOT analysis. The strengths include broad global support, a legal framework for disarmament, and a reliable verification process. But there are weaknesses, such as lack of enforcement and the fact that key nuclear states such as India and Israel never signed. There are still opportunities to strengthen inspections, bring in new members, and adapt to new threats, like cyber hacking of nuclear systems. But there are also serious threats, like terrorism, countries leaving the treaty, or others starting an arms race. Despite its flaws, the NPT remains a vital foundation. From a national security perspective, this was a critical success. It prevented many countries from pursuing nuclear weapons and built habits of cooperation. President Johnson's use of the National Security Council and military was strategic and coordinated. Going forward, we need to reinforce global norms, support the IAEA, and respond firmly to violations. Collaboration across agencies and allies remain key. Overall, I assess the NPT as a success. It didn't solve every problem, but it created a durable global system that still protects us today. In my research, I used 7 credible sources, including government archives, academic books, the IAEA, and recent journalism. I did my best based on the research I've done throughout my academic career to avoid biased sources and focused on historical records and strategic analysis. I'm confident in their reliability. This experience helped me understand how treaties like the NPT are more than just words. They are tools of strategy, diplomacy, and long-term security. It showed me how national security involves not just military power, but global cooperation, trust building, and leadership. Thank you for listening.